So the first part of my 5-course meal is my appetizer, which is salsa and chips. So first I'm adding in tomato sauce. Tomatoes were native to South America, and even though Christopher Columbus was one of the first to encounter this fruit, Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés realized the importance. Cortés brought seeds back to Europe, and it soon became very popular due to its beauty and ability to grow in the warm Mediterranean climate. Over centuries, tomatoes spread throughout Europe to countries like Italy, who first only recognized tomatoes as a tabletop decoration, before using it to make foods used in modern time. Next, I'm chopping up some onions to add to the salsa. Onions are originally from Central Asia, then they came over to Europe. On Christopher Columbus's first journey to the New World, he didn't find any onions, or any familiar plants or animals from Europe, so on a second journey he brought onions and other seeds to plant them there instead. While onions were only used by Europeans to eat, natives in North America used them to heal snake bites, enhance flavors, and dye clothes. Now I'm adding in some lime juice. Citrus fruits were very common in Europe and Asia, but during the Colombian exchange, a disease called scurvy, which was caused by a lack of vitamin C, was affecting both native and European populations. To prevent this, citrus fruits were mandatory on naval ships in order to increase the passengers' vitamin C levels. Because of this, oranges, followed by limes and lemons, were grown in the Americas to prevent disease. Unfortunately, I couldn't make homemade chips today, but the chips I used included corn. Corn was originally in the Americas, but was brought to Europe by Christopher Columbus's exploration. This was introduced to Europe, and it was proved to be a diverse crop that could grow in all different environments. Now, for my main meal, I'm making homemade pasta with white sauce and meat. For the pasta, I used flour, which had wheat in it. Wheat was first found in Europe and Asia, but was brought to the Americas by the Spaniards. While this crop soon became a main cash crop throughout the Americas, it was originally brought along with olives and grapevines to enhance the Catholic culture in making the natives eat a Spanish diet of wine, bread, and grapes. After making the pasta, I started to add in the whipping cream and meat, which both came from cows. Cows were native to Europe and Asia, but were brought to the Caribbean by the Spaniards as another source of food. Soon after, the Portuguese brought more cattle to Brazil, and after a while, cattle was found all over the Americas. Overall, cows helped expand the population of the colonizers in the New World. Before this, I used around a tablespoon of olive oil to make the pasta, along with olive oil on the bottom of the pan to help the meat not stick. Olives always grew very well in the Mediterranean, thriving in 60 to 120 degree temperatures. The Spaniards realized this and brought olive tree seeds over to modern-day Peru. They soon spread throughout Mexico and then North America. Already in 1769, olives were growing in the 110 degree temperatures in California, where they are most found and made today. After this, I made my side, which were baked potato skins. First, I started prepping my potatoes. Potatoes were never really seen as a great food for the colonizers, but it became a food for the native population under European control. Potatoes also provided a way to feed the lower classes of Europe as well. These soon became most popular to the lower classes of Ireland before the famine. After baking the potatoes, I started to add some crumbled pieces of bacon on top. Bacon comes from pigs, which were originally brought to the Americas mainly for another food source for European settlers, instead of the natives. There was also much more land for pigs to be bred and domesticated there than instead of Europe. Next I have my dessert, which is chocolate chip and peanut cookies. First I added in some sugar. Sugar was native to Southeast Asia, but was brought to the Caribbean to take advantage of the better climate conditions. Sugarcane plantations soon became prominent in this area and increased the necessity of African slaves in the Americas. This also became a major cash crop and a high source of income during this time. After this, I started to add in my vanilla extract. Vanilla was originally found during the reign of the Aztec Empire and was mainly partnered with chocolate in a version of modern-day hot chocolate. Once the Spaniards conquered the Aztecs, they brought this hot chocolate variation back to Europe. Once it spread to England, Queen Elizabeth I enjoyed this drink, but mostly the taste of vanilla. She changed vanilla from being associated with chocolate to being another favorite flavor for European elites. Now I'm starting to add in my chocolate chips. Chocolate came from cacao beans, which were originally found in Mesoamerica. Here, people thought very high of chocolate, as it showed a sign of supremacy. Even though many of the Spaniards actually disliked the taste of chocolate, they tolerated it, since consuming the food would demonstrate their dominance over the natives. The missionaries coming back from the Americas also brought the value they now saw in chocolate. They brought cacao beans back to Europe, and many elites used this to show their power and status. Now I'm chopping up and adding in the peanuts. Just like many other foods, peanuts came to Europe since many Portuguese colonizers enjoyed the taste. They brought back peanuts from Europe and later on found another purpose beyond their taste and texture. Peanuts were then used in lubricant oils and soap production, which were beneficial in the Industrial Revolution. Finally, I am making one of my drinks, which is a strawberry and banana smoothie. First, I'm adding my bananas, which were originally found in Afro-Eurasia. Along with other foods mentioned before, bananas were seen as a fruit with a lot of potential to grow in the humid climates of South and Central America. This made Portuguese settlers and missionaries bring bananas with them over to the colonies, but one of the main reasons bananas came to the New World was because of African slaves. They would bring bananas with them from their home across the Middle Passage to be their only source of food on plantations. Next, I added in honey, which was produced by honeybees, which were found in Europe and Asia. Europeans did not bring over honeybees for their taste, but mostly since they facilitated the growth of many other plants they brought over. Honey would pollinate crops like melons, apples, and almonds, but also to pollinate saplings and other seeds. Nevertheless, honey was also used along with wax for the human consumption market in the Americas. Thank you for watching and listening to my 5-course meal using the ingredients from the Colombian exchange.